A federal judge has denied a motion to dismiss the special counsel John Durham's case against a former Hillary Clinton campaign attorney who pushed the FBI to investigate potential collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia. That's Michael Sussman. We'll get more from our congressional correspondent, Kilmeny Dukart, joining us live from the Capitol with the very latest. Kilmeny, good morning.
Sean, this is a big win for the Durham investigation, and it means that that trial is going to proceed next month. The judge presiding over the case said it will be up to a jury to decide whether Sussman's statements to law enforcement before the investigation influenced the trajectory of that investigation. In a 6-page opinion on his ruling, U.S. District Judge Christopher Cooper detailed the indictment, saying Sussman allegedly told Baker that he was not attending the meeting on behalf of any client when in fact he had assembled and was conveying the information on behalf of two specific clients, a technology industry executive named Rodney Jaffe and the Hillary Clinton presidential campaign. It goes on to say the FBI opened an investigation based on the information Sussman provided, but ultimately determined that there was insufficient evidence to support the existence of a communication channel between the Trump campaign and the Russian bank. Sussman, of course, pleaded not guilty to lying to that FBI agent. A new court filing by Durham last week details new evidence revealing text messages between Sussman and the FBI general counsel's personal cell phone the night before their meeting. It reads, "Jim, it's Michael Sussman. I have something time sensitive and sensitive I need to discuss. Do you have availability for a short meeting tomorrow? I'm coming on my own, not on behalf of a client or company. Want to help the Bureau? Thanks." The FBI general counsel responded, "Okay, I will find time. What might work for you?" To which the defendant replied, "Anytime but lunchtime, you name it." Well, the filing means that the special counsel may use this trial to investigate larger links between the Hillary Clinton campaign in its efforts to tie the Trump campaign to Russia. Part of that may be the opposition research listed in that Steele dossier, but that trial is going to commence, Sean, on May 16th.
It's going to be a busy May. Kilmeny Dukart live at the Capitol with the very latest on that. Kilmeny, good to see you. Thank you. Meanwhile, turning to the Hunter Biden laptop scandal. Our next guest alerted the feds about incriminating emails, text messages, and photos, financial documents, all allegedly there on Hunter Biden's laptop. This was in 2020, so a couple of years ago. Fast forward to today. He now says he lost his business. He's facing bankruptcy, alleging multiple people intimidated him and even threatened his life. Well, joining us to discuss is the owner of that Mac repair shop in Wilmington, Delaware, John Paul MacIsaac. John Paul, good to see you, and thank you so much for coming on. We're going to get to some of the personal stuff that you're willing to share in just a bit, but when I thought of what happened today with Elon Musk and Twitter, and Elon wanting to buy Twitter outright, I thought about you because the New York Post story, you gave this laptop over to the feds. The New York Post posted the story. This got suppressed online. Now there's this fight to get free speech back to a platform like Twitter. I'm just curious, do you have thoughts on that? Because your actions were a major player in shedding light on the suppression of news stories, major news stories, such as the Hunter Biden laptop. Your thoughts?
Well, I woke up on October 14th, 2020, to my phone blowing up because my information had been leaked from the New York Post article. So people instantly made the connection. And I think it was about 9 o'clock in the morning, it all stopped. It was like this collaborative effort to shut down social mainstream media. And it worked. And anybody who tried to even voice the subject on Twitter was denied, even in private messaging. So I was just astounded that, I was trying to get out of this without ever getting my information leaked to the public. I had a business to run that didn't last too much longer, and I didn't want to leave my community, which I ultimately had to. So it was astonishing to me that there was such that collaborative effort to shut down this story.
We'll see what happens again with Musk and his offer on that. Perhaps more stories like the one that you were a part of would not be suppressed. I want to ask you about this, the threats that you've allegedly faced. Can you tell us more about that? I know that you don't have. I don't believe you have your business anymore. Is that correct? And have you been facing threats? And what are those? Are you fearful today?
Well, I started getting death threats day one on October 14th. And it started to escalate to the point where by the end of the evening, I was pretty scared for my safety. And I really didn't know what to do. Nobody had coached me on any of this. And so I called Bob Costello, who was Rudy Giuliani's lawyer. And he was the gentleman that I mailed the drive to in the first place. And I'm like, Bob, please, you got to help me out. And he really saved the day. He was able to get a hold of a Wilmington Police Department detective. They met me at the shop the next day. I was able to have a police presence around my shop the entire time I was there. And I can't begin to say how grateful I was for that level of support, because it got a little scary a couple times. People would come into the shop and they wouldn't have computers. And then I'd ask, luckily there were other people in the shop, but I'd ask, can I give you a hand with their computer? Oh, I'll be right back. And then they'd never come back. So wow. I just, it got to the point by November 2nd, I couldn't sustain my business and I couldn't sustain the risk to my safety. So I shut down my business, and 2-3 days later, I fled the state.
John Paul, really quickly before you go, there's this story of a whistleblower that has fled the country to Switzerland for fear of that person's life. Do you have any information on that, or to why that person would be compelled to do so?
I'm not exactly sure on the details of what's going on. I know there's been a lot of speculation about 450 gigs of newly discovered deleted data off of a hard drive claiming to come from my original custody. I argue that statement mainly because the original laptop only had a 250 gig drive, and I was able to recover 220 gigs of data off of it. So that just doesn't, the math doesn't add up. You can't recover 450 gigs of deleted files. I've known in the past there have been a lot of Photoshop creative people out there that have been doctoring things and putting things out on the internet to muddy the waters. Claiming to be from the laptop. I'm not saying that this is a case. This could be legitimate, real data. My concern is it's data that's...
Person would be compelled to leave the country, and you're staying here, right?
Well, it could be that this individual acquired the data from another laptop or a hacked iCloud account. I just know that Hunter Biden signed a document that if he didn't collect his products and his equipment in 90 days, it became my property. After several failed attempts, he never collected, never paid. So I lawfully acquired that laptop and it became my property. If there's another laptop out there that wasn't lawfully acquired and it's being, again, the waters are being muddied with it, then that could jeopardize any efforts that I've made to protect and preserve the integrity of the drive.
Yeah, I appreciate you being open about that. I think a lot of the news stories are saying that this person fled the country. We need to ask, but why? And you answered it. We appreciate that. John Paul, Mac Isaac joining us live on the program here on National Report. John Paul, good to see you. Stay safe.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.